share that. Where is the link? So I will share the Cody and the link on the chat.
I am still delegate. Wow, I can cut
Yeah,
videos.
yeah. You're everything in this group. You're the author, the architect, the leader, the. So let me just copy on the chat the link to the Cody for the live minutes. So I just did. And actually, let me put it somewhere so I can see it. There we go. And there's one last thing I need to do.
Where is the chat now? Ah, yes.
Mm. So we'll be starting at 5 after, as we usually do. And yes, everybody is encouraged to join the Code EFD and contribute to the minutes. Nice to see you guys on video. So Carlos said that he would not be joining us today, and Juan Carlos said that it will be a stretch goal because he has an appointment. So it's going to be best effort for Juan Carlos.
Okay. Hello, Ivan.
And I see that Zulip has started. So I used it during the IETF. Don't even know where it is now. Could try to start it. Just to see if it still works.
There is more people on the Cody than in the meeting.
Okay, so yes, the Jabber is working. If you want to join Zulip and Jabber, that also works. So I'm just sending a message from Zulip. And you should see it in the chat if the bridge is still okay. Let me check. Yes, just arrived from Zulip. Okay, so if you want to contribute to the chat, you may also join. You may do it from the chat on the left of your screen, or you may do it from Zulip, and it's gonna be bridged by the Zulip bot. So both work. And from this, it's gonna be 5 after in exactly 1 minute. So we're gonna start, just hoping we get one or more people. Oh, I think it's gonna be it. So Alexander, it's your call. Do you want to do the usual? I will pass the slides. I compiled all the slides. But if you want to do the usual game, the floor is yours.
Okay, yes. So, hello everyone. So this is an official IETF meeting, and as such, all the IETF policies are in effect. So please read the note well and all the BCPs that are related, that are cited here. So by participating in it, you agree to follow all IETF processes and policies. And if you are aware of any IETF contribution which is covered by patents or patent applications, you must disclose that fact or not participate in a discussion, right? So, you need to read normally to be aware of the whole Note 12 document. So as a reminder, so we are taking minutes. The minute-taking document is in the chat, so please participate into that. We are not recording it in order to avoid wasting terabytes of space.
Alex, it is recorded actually. Sorry.
Oh, it is recording. Oh, okay. Yes.
Yeah. You should see it at the bottom of your screen.
Yes.
It's automatic Mythico, so it's part of the game.
Okay. So we are wasting gigabytes of. So we are not wasting gigabytes. We are saving the knowledge for future generations, and everything will be recorded, and the presence is logged. And Zulip Bud is Pascal Tuber. Okay. For the noting for the.
Well, everybody who goes through the Zulip chat will be bridged by the bot onto the discussion here. That's the game.
Okay. Thank you. So next slide, please. So agenda bashing. So for today we have several presentations. The first one is about the data model, so the Yang data model, the shepherding, the reviews, and the advancement. Then short presentation of the compound ACK, so the advancement of the shepherding, and the SCHC over Sigfox shepherding. So quite a lot on these advancements. So does anyone want to add a point for today's presentation or for today's discussion? No. So we'll stick to that timeline. So next slide, please, Pascal. So we had 3 action items from the last time. So complete the Shepherd write-up of the compound ACK. Complete the working group last call resolutions for the Yang data model, and kick off the working group last call for SCHC over Sigfox. So we are going to be discussing the first 2 items.
Okay, you're back.
Oh,
we almost lost you, but it's okay.
Okay, let me cut the camera. So as I was saying, the first 2 points will be discussed later during the call, and the working group last call for SCHC over Sigfox. So did we announce? I don't remember if we announced the end of the working group last call, Pascal.
Yes, we did, but we did not have much discussion at the time, so I kind of pulled Dominic into the game, so he makes his review, which happened, and there have been 2 rounds, and we'll discuss that in slides later. But basically, yes. So the workgroup last call is complete for both compound, which is waiting for your complete Shepherd write-up, and the Yang data model, and we'll see that we're already there as well. Very close to press the button, and then probably today we'll kick off the workgroup last call for SCHC over Sigfox. It will depend on the authors if they feel ready for the workgroup last call. Then we'll probably kick it off today. That's the intention.
Okay.
Well, nothing new here. So let's just. Normally it should be better quality than that. It's very hard to see. Okay, do you want me to continue? I mean, the only real new document that we got is the SCHC data model, which is now 9. So there were 2 iterations since the last call, and it's basically the 2 steps that it took to handle Dominic's review. And for the rest, I mean, the documents have been stable. And so let's start, and we start with the data model. That's most of the discussion for today, and I'm Shepherd for that one. So I did not enter all the steps, but so there are a number of issues. And Dominique, if you want to speak about your review and where we are, and if you're happy with the resolution in the 9.
Yeah, I'm happy.
So that was quick. Just for everybody who did not fully follow the discussion on the mailing list, there were a number of items, consistency, for instance, between things which started at 0 and things which started at 1. And so there were 2 rounds to basically agree between Laurent and Dominique. And the only point of contention was the way we express the timers. And so we have a special slide for that, so we'll come back to the timers. Next slide is me. So I did the Shepherd review. It was just published. For all I know, it's not answered yet, but maybe Laurent, you did, and I did not realize. So in my review, I remembered that there was the time thing. So that time thing, I guess, is fixed. And then there were a number of needs which are typical from a Shepherd discussion. So Laurent, have you seen this email where I list those things?
Which one, Dominique's mail?
No, my Shepherd review, which
yes.
that you see here. I sent it several days ago, but so if you didn't see it, we can rapidly go through.
Yeah, we can go through, but I think I.
So the first thing is that there is this RFC 7942, which says if there are implementations, there should be a little section in the end where you say are the implementations. And since there are implementations, I think it's good to know for the ISG reviewers that those things are effectively implemented. So that's the first thing. Second is...
may I answer or...
yes, please.
Yes. So there is a partial implementation in OpenChick of the draft, which means that we have almost all the rules on the fragmentation scenario or rules. So we can write it for the moment, but we don't. We cannot generate rules from the young data model, but from OpenChick internal representation, we can create a rule conforming to the young data model.
Okay, so that, I mean, if you can have some words on that, that would be really, really nice. I mean, that will help. So second thing, you have an acknowledgement section, but you did not mention your young doctor. And since
it is done right now.
Oh, you fixed it. Okay. The other thing I found was that, curiously enough, the BCP14 text appears somewhere in section 7 in the middle of the young module. And since you start using uppercase must in section 2, I suggest that you have a terminology section or something after the introduction where that you call requirement language. It's kind of the way we do it now. And with the usual BCP14 text. And I just gave you an example of how that was done in one RFC. Just if you don't have the exact text handy, I just gave you a link, which is in 3.1, because I have the help of the area director to put it up to date. So then there are ID needs. You know, we must pass all the needs. And if you pass the needs, you'll find there are 5 instances where it says the lines are too long. And I thought you said you were using some lint, but when we were in REN together, you basically found that, you know, I mean, in the middle of the Young tools at the IETF, there is one which will ensure there are not too many lines, too many characters per line.
So in fact, I check it's just generate a warning when it exceeds 69 characters, but it doesn't help to format the text. So I have to do it by hand. And the problem is that it's the young model. We have description, we have things, and when we include the young model into the draft, then it's very tough to not excess the 72 limit.
Yes, I mean, I don't know if it's lawful in a text like this to put an anti-slash in the end, and so you can continue the line on the next line.
No, but it's normally it has been formatted. the most complex one was the most and the when in the Young model, because it's XPath expression, and you have very limited room to write it and make it clear. But I tried to do it.
Okay, and then I was looking at the references. You have very few references. You only have 2, I guess, on the shake and shake over co-op specs. And since you're defining Yang, I thought at least the first time you use the term Yang, you should put an informational reference to an RFC about Yang. I mean, the basic Yang thing that could that would. So, and that's pretty much it. And Dominique wants to speak. Yes, Dominique.
Yeah, just checking GitHub. Laurent yesterday submitted 2 pull requests, one for the Young model itself and one for the MD file, fixing just one bit in each file. So next time you generate a new version, or next time you work on GitHub.
Dominique, it's very, very hard for me to understand you. I don't know if you're too close to the mic or something, but the result is, I don't know for the others, but the result is pretty poor. I really cannot parse your voice.
Okay, let me try again. Is that better?
It is better.
Okay, I just said I submitted 2 pull requests on GitHub, fixing one need each in the Young file and the MD file. So just draw Laurent's attention to that. Nothing major. Just
when did you do that?
Yesterday afternoon. So I saw you worked on it today.
After my change.
Yes, I looked at the changes and fixed.
Okay. Yeah. Just one point is that, for example, I tested this morning the IETF flag, and what I did is not compliant with IETF because one description is missing. But I wanted to have something quick to discuss today about the change in the model.
Sure, no worries.
Okay, so that's pretty much it for me. So Laurent, will you publish a 10 with accepting the 2 pull requests from Dominique and then checking those items that I have here? If you do, then I will press the button.
Okay.
Okay. And Laurent, I will give you the ball on this one to explain what the mantis and exponent is and how the time is formatted. But this is basically the resolution of the format of time in the Young data model. So maybe, Laurent, you can explain what it was at the time of Dominique's review and what the contention was and then what the solution was.
Okay. So we discussed. So I when we create the first Young model before Dominique reviews, we use int64 to specify the unit, the timer, and the unit was in seconds. And so it appears that we may have some very reactive SHIC implementation where we could be near the microsecond, and we can have very, very slow SHIC session. For example, if we send a SHIC message to Voyager 1, then it will take several months to reach, and so the timer could adapt to that. So what we so we do not want to have big numbers because also it's quite difficult to manage. So what we propose is to define a tick, what we call in the model tick duration, and a tick duration is 2 power a number divided by 10 power 6. So it means that the unit is microsecond. And when we increment this number, we can have some very nice parameter like the one with 20, where the tick is about 1 second. And then we have another unit that is the tick numbers, and we say a timer will be that.
Oh, you muted yourself. You seem back now. Okay, sorry.
Sorry?
You appear as muted and your voice did not pass for a few seconds. I was afraid that you muted yourself.
And so here there is a small Python program in the repository that is called tick.py and give you these numbers. So the first column is the value for exponential. So, and the second number is the step. So the smallest step you can have. And the next one is the highest value you can have. So if you take the exponential as 0, so you have a step of tick duration of 1 microsecond. So since then with the number of element is on 16 bits, so the highest value is 0.6 second. And if we take, for example, exponential of 20, then the step is 1 second dot 0.5, and we can have a timer. The shorter value of the timer is 1.05 second, and the maximum one is about 19 hours. And so this is compliant with the implementation we have right now of SHIC. For example, we take LoRaWAN that says that recommended duration for timers is 12 hours. So this way, with a value of 20, we cover the usual range of SHIC, but we have some way to either to reduce the timers for very interactive application or increase the timer for very long propagation delays. For example, if we take 25, then we can have a timer of 25 days. And if we take 35, it will be a timer of 71 year maximum. So it means that with that, we have a lot of flexibility to cover any kind of applications.
Yes, and I did not hear it, but you probably want to say that if the value that somebody uses is 20, then it's the default and it's implicit, right? You don't have to pass it in the air.
So we put it as 20 as the default. So you just have to specify the timer value in 15 bits, and so you have the right range. But for example, if you want something that is more reactive than a second, you can use 19, and then you adapt yourself to your own specifications.
And Dominique, you wanted to say something?
Yes, please. So I'm happy with this algorithm and the dynamic and resolution it provides. When we talked about it last Friday, I forgot to ask if there's any comparable mechanism that's already implemented in one of the protocols we expect to have on board our devices, so that we don't add, extra code. Is there anything like in co-op or maybe some other protocol?
No, co-op. It's the timer is usually 5 seconds. Oh, 5 minutes. 5 minutes. You have something on 5 minutes.
So yeah, just checking. We are not reinventing something similar to an existing stuff.
It's close to what Ripple has, but I think what we so in the DAO configuration option, there is the unit. Basically, it's being passed, which would be the equivalent of the X here. And then in the protocol itself, you just pass the timer expressed in that unit. It's just that by memory, the unit is not exponential, but I can check it. But otherwise, it's very, very close to what we do in Ripple.
So what we can check, or if you agree, is the name of this variable. So in the new version of the Young model, I create a grouping that contains these two values. So the exponential is called tick duration, and the number we multiply the tick duration is called tick numbers. So I would like to know if you think it's clear for non-implementers about these names. And the other point, we have also a discussion with Dominique, and there was a confusion in position, because position was we have field position that vary from 1 to something. And in the target value, we had also a leaf that was called position, and now I rename it as indexia, or something like this, and the indicia. And this way we avoid the confusion with two things called position.
Wouldn't the right term be index?
We can have index, but I think it's a synonym of index from the World Dictionary, and I think index is not so clear for people.
Right. Okay. If you found indicia in a dictionary, I trust you.
Okay, so I mean, it doesn't really matter, right? I mean, we are once people understand the word, I mean, anything works as long as it's different. Okay, so any other comment? So can I say that the bottom line is that, Laurent, you publish a revision with the pull from Dominique and the items in my review addressed. You ping me, and I push the publication button. I already sent out, at least to the authors, the draft of the Shepherd review. It's also available in the data tracker. So if you want to give a look before I press the button, please do so. And with this, we'll talk about the compound hack. So as you know, I was the original Shepherd for this. So I wrote the original Shepherd write-up using the ancient, the previous format. As it goes, the ASG has just published a new shepherding default write-up format template. And so as Alexander takes over the shepherding, maybe you will have to use the new template.
I should have pressed the button earlier, just before they send the new template.
Yes. Or maybe if you're really quick, they won't mind too much. You would say, "Oh, it was ready."
I'll do the effort to. Yeah, I'll do the effort to put it in the new format, and this way I'm going to appropriate. I mean, it's
video review. Yeah.
Yes, so I'll redo it based on you. So I'll review the document, and of course everything is so there are no issues, right? So I'm going to finish that. So I'll try to finish that so I'll do that by our next interim. And
okay, so it's a race between you and I. I mean, the winner is the one who presses the button the fastest. And Laurent, help me win that one. Laurent, I need you.
Yes.
I depend on Laurent to win the race. And Anna, I included your slides in the generic slideware, so I'll be advancing them. So before we go into Anna's discussion, I would like to see if the authors of the Shakeover Sigfox document feel ready for workgroup last call. So Juan Carlos is not there, but Sergio. Yeah, please speak.
Hello.
Go ahead. Yeah, please go ahead.
Yeah, I think that we are doing an update in the Shakeover Sigfox draft.
Yeah.
We have modified we are doing reordering the way the modes are classified in the draft, are described. And we changed the headers accordingly to what we saw on the last IETF meetings, adding the CRC, well, not the CRC, but the resample check sequence to the to the headers. So I have to confirm, because we were working also on the other draft, to see if we can take out a new version before next interim.
Okay, so for now we are holding the workgroup last call, right? You're not fully ready. That's my bottom line.
Yeah, I think we need to update we need to release a new version of the updated document. Yeah.
Well, next time you publish, please tell us on the mailing list that you feel ready this time, okay? And
Okay,
so as
great.
soon as we'll kick off the workgroup last call. And so Anna, the floor will be yours, but basically, Sergio, your shepherd will be Anna. And thank you, Anna, for doing this. That's very kind. And the ball is yours, Anna.
So I'm reading the actual version, so I will read again the new version, and I will follow the procedure you explained to me for the write-up and the shepherding.
Okay.
And I was thinking to do it after this meeting, but then I will do it later after reviewing the new version that's in it.
Okay, and I see that somebody is taking the minutes for this draft under the Compound. So if you can please move your text to the Chic over Sigfox, because that's where we are now. Thank you. That's kind. So next slide, Anna. Do you want the next slide?
Yeah, please. So for this version, I see that you are using the downlink transmission, and I think it's correspond to the appendix F of the RFC 8724, isn't it? So perhaps it would be very important for you to explain very well how this downlink transmission works, because it's not in the it's in the appendix of the RFC. It's not really the text. And the second thing I have is you are using the tag equals 0, so you are not using the tag. So again, it's only to remind that if the tag is equals 0 bits, so you have only one packet on there, and probably you cannot reuse your rule ID until it's 3, and then you have to increase the number of rule IDs you will use for each application in your device. That's the two most important things I have seen in this version. And I have some other
Sergio wants to answer you. Maybe you can let him answer now.
Yeah, regarding the first one, I will check out the appendix X if we have to take any consideration regarding the quasi-bidirectional links. And regarding the DTAG, yeah, we have some internal discussions around that subject, and we are going to, I think, in the new version to determine how the packet interleaving is going to be performed without the DTAG. If in this case, probably it's different rule IDs to allow this to happen.
Yeah. Okay. So perhaps it could be interesting to say it, because if you need interleaving packets, the RFC 8724 use DTAG. So you need to explain how you are going to use to do interleaving packets.
Yeah, totally agree. That if interleaving is wanted, I think that we are saying it in one specific mode and with different rule IDs. This is how it's proposed.
Okay. So I didn't see that exactly in the draft. So if you can explain it better, perhaps it will be more clear. And I can, if you want, send my comments of this version 9, if you want. Or if you want, I wait for the new version.
If you already have the comments, you can send it. They will be great to have them, and we can add them to next version.
Okay.
And I totally agree with you that the thing about packet interleaving is not clear in current draft. Actually, is something that I've been also reviewing and asking how this is going to be performed without a DTAG. So the option we have now is rule IDs. So I will be in charge, I will say, to see that that is going to be written in the draft. Actually, we already have some considerations regarding that, so it will be added on new version.
So do we have a best practice for Shake? Because it seems kind of worrying to think that you're going to double the number of role IDs, because just to say the same rule for this packet and the same rule for the next packet, you have to have twice the role IDs. It means one additional bit anyway. So if you're going to really have interleaved packets, then a DTAG using at least one bit of DTAG to alternate packets in the air, it's very useful. So I don't know if others can comment in practice, but it seems to me that at least one bit of DTAG makes sense if you plan to interleave.
Yeah,
Laurent?
and also the interoperability with the others implementation for your solution.
Laurent?
Yes, DTAG is just a convenience. It means that it's just after the rule ID. So if you put one bit, it's like generating two rules. If you want to have for example, only 3 rules, then it's better to generate 3 rule ID. If you want 4, it's better to use DTAG. It depends how many things you can store in your context. But it's a convenience to limit the number of rules, but it's not mandatory. As you say, we can use rule ID to do it.
Yeah, but it's kind of strange. Yeah, it's because now the code would have to check for 2 rules.
Yeah,
If
no, I
it's
agree.
5 or 12, then it's the same thing, it's kind of weird. It looks prone to proms, but okay.
And then if you increase the number of role IDs, you will have the problem of memory also.
You will double the bits. Yeah, if you have just the bits you need for the role IDs you have, and if you need to double the number, it's just as many bits as if you had a DTAG. So it's not an obvious good idea. It looks like a bad idea on paper to double role IDs because more bugs probably. Okay. So anyway, so thank you, Anna, for this first round.
I will take these comments to the other authors, and I will ask to see how we can add something regarding the use of rule IDs for the packet interleaving, and that there is actually the DTAG 1 bit can be something useful also. So I will pass the comments also.
There is one big thing it allows to make sure that you stopped, even if you don't interleave, you know that the peer has gone to the next packet and has abandoned this packet. So then if for you it's finished, well, I'm sorry, if for you it's not finished, but you see the other party has changed the DTAG, now you know is done and you should drop whatever you have because the peer has gone sending the next frame. And if you don't have the DTAG, then you never know if effectively you lost sync with the peer and is still in the same frame or a different frame. It's not perfect, right? Because if you have one bit of DTAG and you think you're on frame 3 and effectively the sender is on frame 5, then clearly the DTAG of 1 bit will not protect you. But at least if there is a flip-flop of frames and you can capture packets of the second frame, because the DTAG has changed, you know that the previous frame was finished and too bad, whatever you received is lost. So that's kind of useful. But as you said, and as Laurent said, you could also use different ranges of role IDs to the same effect.
Great, thank you very much.
Okay, so that's pretty much it for today. So do we have any other business? Dominique, yes?
Yeah, I put some references in the chat regarding the word indicia, so I think it's a bad idea to use that term. You can look at the references.
Dominique, I can't hear you again. I don't know. You probably moved next to your mic again. I mean, I don't know what happens to your mic. But...
Okay, it's the same mic, same headset. Anyway, is that better?
Yes, it might move too close to your mouth or something. I don't know what it's doing, but it kind of saturates.
Okay. So I'll speak softly. I put some references in chat. I think the term indicia is not the right one. So I suggest we reconsider. And I'm willing to contribute since I'm the one who says it's wrong.
Okay, okay. I mean, can we agree on this one? So Laurent.
No, okay, no problem to find a synonym. But we have index, but I don't like index that much because it's
Indice.
indicia.
Why
Uh,
don't you like index?
because for me it's not really an index, because index is not sequential, but it's
So call it sequence.
Well, why do you say index is not sequential? If you have a table or a vector, the position of the element is called the index, isn't it?
okay, but we can go to the index if we have no better idea, but not.
But indicia is really something different. Look
Okay.
at the references. It's a specific mark, some kind of clue or distinctive sign of something, but nothing related to a position within a collection.
Okay.
Anyway,
So
look at the references. I
we'll
don't want
look
to
at
waste
activity timer
everybody's
and
time.
index and see if we have something better.
Okay, we'll take that.
Order, but I'm not sure that that's the. Yes,
Okay, and sorry, there was also Sergio and Anna. So when you're done, I mean, Sergio and Anna, please continue.
Yeah,
Yes, sorry. I want just to ask for NB-IoT. For the draft NB-IoT, we have also finished, I think, the last call. So I will. I want to send the last version today, but I have some problems with my GitHub. So I think I will publish it as soon as possible. The new version of the last version of the NB-IoT draft.
Okay, and then so I'm wondering, did we effectively have Shepherd for NB-IoT? I'm confused now. I don't remember that we have a Shepherd for you. Let me just check if we entered one.
No, we didn't. We didn't attach Shepherd to this document. We only do the last call after the IETF, and that's all.
Yeah, we didn't get much review. So maybe what I can do, Anna, is send an email to the mailing list asking for more reviews.
Yeah. Yes.
Because last call with no review is not really a last call.
Of course.
So maybe it was.
If you review it, wait until my next publication, because there are some changes.
Okay, so please publish.
Yeah.
And then I will remind that there was a last call pending, and we didn't get much review. But as soon as you publish,
okay.
So the ball is in your hand then. And effectively, I don't see. Oh, yes, I am. I will be your shepherd. I actually wrote it down in the document, so it's going to be me, Anna.
Okay, nice.
Yes. So yeah, I'll be pinging the mailing list as soon as you publish. And is there anything else? I see that Laurent and Sergio are still.
Yeah, I just want to say something about the Compound Act draft. That we are also releasing a new version. This version I already sent it to Dominique for comments on the because I had a follow up on some of the reviews from Dominique. we added some new figures and we changed the format. So, well, not the format, but we changed some things so the padding bits are undefined. So we are waiting for the, well, not waiting, but once Dominique sends us the comments, we will be publishing a new version also.
Oh, okay. Okay, so then, I mean, then the Shepherd write-up will need to wait for that.
now we are both held in our race. So,
Yes, but yes, okay, Sergio, that's perfect. I mean, the moment that you send it, I'll need to update the shepherding write-up, and I should have pressed the button before. Anyway, that's good news. That's a good news, Sergio, that you're working on it. I mean, it's good to improve the document as much as
Yeah,
possible.
I think we will wait for the comments from Dominique to release the one version more with all the comments, than release one now and wait for another one, I think.
that's neat.
Dominique,
right.
I think, wants
Thank
to
you.
say something. Yes.
And Laurent, that's so. I guess Dominique, you got it right. I mean, the ball is in your camp, but no pressure. It's gonna be, yeah, probably just verify that the comments were addressed. And Laurent, did you want to say something? You're still in the queue, Laurent.
I just stay in the queue. I
Oh,
leave.
you're in the queue. Okay, no worries. Okay, so then again, any
Just
other?
before we close the meeting, then there was something that got published by the LoRa Alliance today, a press release about the IPv6 over LoRaWAN release of the technical document. So the LoRa Alliance, they did. I need to look up the link. So LoRa Alliance did internal work, and basically, so it adopted the RFC 9011 in the internal form of the LoRa Alliance, and many members of the working group here have participated. So it's a very clean and neat document, and you might want to see the press release. So I just want to copy paste the link, and I'm looking at it right now. It is actually a very interestingly put press release, because it says that basically, I mean, it opens new verticals and all the nice things we know about IP. Well, they put it for how can I say that in a way that is appropriate for people that actually don't know the benefits of IP. So it's actually a great achievement of the working group. So yeah, I'm going to put the link in the chat. I mean, it's a public information, right? But just in case. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Dominique. And Dominique has contributed a lot to that document. Thank you, Dominique, as well.
Neat. I mean, that's really, kind of a coronation for our work. So I'm very pleased to see this happen. So let me just open it. Okay. Oh, when I open it, I don't get it.
Maybe you can click on Dominique's link, because I think I clicked.
But mine has that dot in it, and that's probably why. So why did I get that? Yeah, when it arrives, it. Oh, okay. You can't copy paste, but you can click. Okay. So I have it. Neat. Thanks so much. I mean, that's a huge achievement. Like I say, a coronation for the work we've done over the years.
Yes. So this is a quote from the CEO of the LoRa Alliance.
Okay, that's beautiful. So congratulations, guys. I mean, your work has paid. So very impressive.
Oh yes, thank you, yes. So there is going to be a webinar organized by the LoRa Alliance. The webinar is on June 14th. Thanks for the reminder, actually, Dominic. And let me put the link. Let me put the link here. And tick. So switching between navigators, so it's a little bit time consuming. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Dominic. So I opened the link, so you can subscribe to the webinar and you can see it. So really a very significant work getting done, and the work that was done in this working group right now becomes a major technology of the LoRaWAN world, but also in others. So yeah, it's super interesting and super the work that we're getting done here. It's really amazing. So thank you all for for this important technology. And with
Okay.
that, I finished.
Well, we had time, so that's cool. Okay, so again, congratulations, guys, and thanks so much for all the work which is now being integrated in the standards. So that's kind of very cool. Okay, and then with this, I guess we will conclude this meeting for today. So we meet next in 2 weeks, and so the to-dos we have, if I can summarize that. Laurent, you have to publish a new version. Everybody has to publish a new version, basically. Laurent, for the Yang model, so that you incorporate the pull request from Dominic and my review. Sergio, you said you're working on the Shikover Sigfox document, so you need to push a new version so I can start doing the last call. For the NB-IoT, the last call is finished. We didn't get much review, so Anna, you will publish a new version, and I will ask additional reviews on it to kind of get something from the workgroup last call. And the compound hack, I understand, Sergio, you're doing a few changes, and when the changes are done, then basically we can quickly review them, and the chairs or the shepherd, I mean Alex, and then Alex will press the button for submission. That's pretty much it. So all those documents are getting shipped. So the next will be probably the architecture, and then if we need another document to express how we can provision the network with the data model. So the flows for security and configuration provisioning and data model. So it's going to be something. And there is always pending the work which started on ICMP and ping and all those things. OAM. So Dominic, next time maybe we can talk about where we want to go with the OAM effort in 2 weeks, if you want to talk about that. And that's pretty much it for today. So we've got to-dos everywhere. And yes, I missed one to-do for, again, Dominic, which was review that the changes that are made, I guess, in the compound hack are okay, right? Before you ship the compound hack, Sergio. And this time it's probably it. Okay, so thank you all, and see you on the mailing list and in this interim in 2 weeks. Take care.
See you in 2 weeks. Bye. Thank you all.
Bye.
Bye.